why are the sellers selling their house? What's their motivation?
Right, so for this specific property, the sellers are contemplating actually relocating.
Okay.
And they have a couple of cities in mind, but the main one that they're looking at is Austin. So it's nothing in relation to the city itself or, you know, the home itself. It's just a matter of, you know, they kind of want to change the scenery.
Absolutely.
They are pretty big entrepreneurs, so they have businesses around the country, but you know, they've located specific cities, especially Las Vegas, but also Austin and a few other cities that, you know, are really starting to become robust, important players and important cities in this country. So that's the main driving factor for that.
What else is important for them? Like, for example, do they need more time to, like, you know, do they need a lease back, for example, so they could identify where they're relocating to?
Right. So actually, no. So they actually completely vacated the property, and it was partly my suggestion to do that. You know, it shows a lot better when, you know, they see the eye, when it meets the eye, and that's the house that they're getting right away. They know that's what they're getting. A lot of times that makes a lot smoother of a transaction, you know. So when it goes into the transaction period and when it's under contract, there's no ifs, ands, or any kind of questions. You know, this is the property that they're receiving.
And what kind of things can I do creatively to make an offer stand out?
Absolutely. So I think the number one thing that both you and I can agree on is, of course, the number one thing is probably the price. But obviously, when we take a listing, we ask those questions. You know, what is something that is important to the sellers? And we do that for a couple of reasons, because we want to be as straightforward and honest that we can to other realtors so that, you know, we're not wasting anybody's time. But most importantly, you know, there's different factors that go into it. If you have a buyer that has a loan contingency that are buying with the loan, it's a completely different ballgame than somebody that says, you know, we have cash ready to go. And, you know, I think most viewers probably know cash is more advantageous, but here's a couple of the reasons why. You know, when you're in a cash offer situation, and especially when you're competing with other people, you want to be able to give every factor, every motivating factor for them to accept you. So you can close quicker. You can give the sellers the peace of mind saying, we're not going to be able to back out. We have the cash ready to go.
Absolutely.
So those are the two main things I would say. Definitely, I think cash definitely stands out, of course. But obviously, you know, when you get to these kind of higher price points, not everybody has that kind of cash ready to go. So there's a lot of different factors, but, you know, just like you probably know, there's definitely different creative ways you can make things happen. So it's a dance, it's a battle, it's a, you know, everything, whatever you'd like to call it. But, you know, negotiating is always going to be one of the biggest things about our industry that is like no other. The meeting of the minds.
You know, you want to make sure both parties are happy with whatever terms we agree to. So there's got to be a back and forth, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing, is especially when I know I'm working with somebody that's a professional, like for yourself, if we get under contract for this home, you know, I know I'm working with somebody that I have 100% confidence on my side as well. Because if I know the other agent, then we know how each other's, you know, our quirks and how we do business. And, you know, that's a great factor as well, as just being able to network within the community and, you know, the community of realtors as well.
So obviously in the seller's market, a lot of people are, you know, thinking about or actually waiving contingencies. So I just want to ask you your opinion on what you think, you know, on, you know, waiving inspection, waiving appraisal. What are your thoughts on that?
So coming from the listing side is completely different from the buyer side. But speaking about even the buyer side, on my side, you know, when I talk to buyers, especially when it comes to competitive homes, is if you understand the risks and you're able to, you know, fulfill those commitments, then, you know, I feel comfortable doing it. However, a lot of the times, especially in Las Vegas, Austin, whatever cities that you're competing in, there's going to be multiple offers situations happening on a regular basis. And I've seen this not only with homes at this price point at 1.4, I've seen this at 3 million, I've seen this at 250,000. And you see it all throughout the city. But the thing is about waiving it, it comes with risks, obviously. But from the seller standpoint, obviously that gives them a little bit more peace of mind. And going back to, you know, the seller's perspective, when you receive a cash offer, all those contingencies are waived up front. And that's the reason why cash is so prevalent, so powerful. But obviously to be able to compete with that, you have to be willing to give up some of the of the waiving some of the contingencies.
Absolutely. And I haven't seen it in our Las Vegas market yet, but I talked to a lot of realtors on the East Coast, and they're definitely like waiving inspection, which for me is crazy because as you know, if you don't have a professional inspector looking at your house, you can't really see what's wrong with the house, right?
Right. And coming from the buyer's perspective, I would almost never recommend that. I mean, it's just because you're going in with a blind eye. When you first see it, you can't be able to tell what's happening between the walls. You can't tell what's happening with the electrical. Obviously the professional that you are, I know that you would be very hesitant to be able to recommend a waiving of an inspection. That is the number one thing you base everything off of. And so when it comes to those kind of inspections and waiving those, I would probably even put my foot down and say to the buyers, hey, just at least get the inspection done. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Everything else we can work with. But if you're not happy with the inspection, you're not happy with the home, we don't want to give you a product that, we stamped not only my company's name on, but also from the seller side. We don't want you to be unhappy with what you're receiving.
Absolutely. It's all customer service, right?
Absolutely, 100%. That's the name of the ball game is, the best that we can provide is our consulting, but also, our service. And at the end of the day, we want everyone to leave the transaction, happy and excited with their new, home, new purchase, whatever real estate they're purchasing.
Of course. Last question for you, Nevin. You've obviously been in the real estate industry longer than I have.
Okay.
So what kind of recommendations do you have for newer agents?
Sure.
Especially in the Las Vegas market?
So I want to say one thing before I answer. This girl is a powerhouse. I'm very, very proud of what she's done. I talked to her before she even got into the real estate game, and I'm so happy that you're doing very well. You're with a great guy, Randy. I like him a lot. He's a great guy. I see him almost as a mentor myself.
Awesome.
And being like a young Asian American entrepreneur, I steal people's playbook. And I can't say I haven't stole some of Randy's stuff. I haven't stole some of the other brokers in town. But the biggest advice I can give to new agents is this is not an easy industry. You have to be able to cough up some tears, cough up some resources in terms of money. If you don't have it, get another job. Get something that can get you through the first year, because there's statistics that we hear all the time. 90% of the people are out their first year and so forth. But it's about perseverance. That's the word I'm looking for. But also getting the guidance of somebody like Randy, getting the guidance of somebody that has been in the industry long enough to understand the in and outs of what it takes to be successful. But success is a relative answer. Not everybody and anybody is supposed to be in the luxury sphere. Not anybody and everybody is supposed to be doing investments. So you have to find that niche that you're looking for to be able to thrive. And you've seen it firsthand. With the Sotheby's now group that you're with. I mean, you're tailored to the luxury market, and some people are just not prepared for that. And so you have to take one step at a time, grow through it, persevere, go through the growing pains, and eventually you'll find that success you're looking for.
That's awesome. Wow, thank you so much for the recommendation, Nevin.
Absolutely.
And your kind words.
Yes.
And again, thank you so much all for watching. I hope are you okay? Oh, I thought that was like a stop. Okay. So I'm just gonna close it out, So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the home tour and my interview with Nevin Endy, my fellow UCLA Bruin. And again, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you, so make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you're notified of my new weekly content. And again, Nevin, last words from you.
Yes, absolutely. Again, if you enjoy what you've seen in these videos of this home, or you enjoy the energy from either one of us, make sure to give us a call. We'll get this in contract for you. But at the end of the day, you know, join us in our journey with our YouTube videos. You know, you make great content. I know you're on TikTok and all that stuff now.
I try.
Yeah, exactly. But the biggest thing is to be able to experience that and to have other people enjoy that experience with you.
Yeah. So what did you all think of this amazing mansion? You know, I'm really excited to have had the opportunity to tour this beautiful home and your listing with you, Nevin. Absolutely. And we are going to actually do a side chat here. But any last remarks to our viewers here about the home?
Absolutely. If you know either of us, make sure to give us a contact. You know, we'd love to show these houses privately. Feel free to give us a call anytime for any questions. But you know, like every other house, you don't understand it until you actually see it.
Absolutely.
So feel free to give us a call and we'll get some tours ready for you guys.
Amazing. We can't wait for you guys to come back to Las Vegas. Now let's go step to the side and let's catch up, Nevin.
All right.
All right.